Hello, welcome to So Making It Up. I'm Ashley. So today I've got a bit of a dilemma. I was having a bit of a sort out. I must admit my sewing activity in March has been really poor. I think I don't know if other people get times where they just really don't feel like sewing, or you plan everything out what you're going to sew, you put it next to the sewing machine, or you cut things out and then you're just a bit like, oh. So I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's just lockdown is getting to me. I know when we have sort of nicer days I like to be outside, so I've tended to be outside a bit more than usual, but when it gets cold I really don't have any excuse. But I seem to have been busying myself with lots of cleaning and lots of polishing things with new products that I've been finding. So I decided to have a word with myself and start to try and get sewing again. Last weekend I did make a pair of pyjama shorts for my son, standard style fabric, and yeah, I decided to do that to try and get me going again. And something that I thought that I would do is go through my fabric haul and show you some of the things that I've bought or been given and not actually made anything with yet, with the hope that that will start me getting interested in making things, because the weather, a bit cold today, but the weather is starting to brighten up and nights are getting longer, and it does start you thinking of the summer. So thinking back to sort of cami tops, shorts, dresses. So yeah, so I thought I'd go through some of that with you today, and let's see if that sparks my interest, because I've got some serious catching up to do. So one thing that I did find that I'd completely forgotten about was I've talked before about double gauze and how I find it really, I'm attracted to it, but I find it really difficult to work with. And this is a Nani Iro double gauze from the Draper's Daughter again. I do like the Draper's Daughter, and I made a version of the puff sleeve top out of it, but as you can see it's overlockered, ready to be turned up. It's got neck binding on it. I've even put a label on it, but it's also got a safety pin in it, because what I found with this, and I have a real problem with tops and stopping tops from gaping. So when you put them on, I do everything I can. I stay stitch it, try not to stretch it as I go round. I make sure I cut the binding on the bias so that it will go round the corner. But most of the time, I would probably say 8 times out of 10, my neck facing is really bad and it stands up and it's really soul destroying. So the times it works is a lovely surprise for me. So what I tend to try and do is, rather than have a neck binding like that, I will put maybe facing on, or I found with things like this, it seems to work better if I don't actually put a separate piece on. It depends on the fabric. I don't put a separate piece on, I just fold it over on itself. Somehow that works better, but I don't know whether there's an art to it or whether it's just me. I guess we all have our nemesis when we're sewing, things that don't quite work for us. I know zips is a common problem for some people. So yeah, this top, I think I was with Jane at one of the shows when I bought this fabric, and gosh, and I was really liked it. I'm not actually even sure if it's my colour anymore, but yeah, I want to sort of rescue it. So that pin is in there because I was trying to see if I could do something fancy with the front to stop the gaping neck, but I think in reality I am better off cutting this up, either making it into a cami top, which I know is a bit of a cop out, or maybe making it into a t-shirt that has contrasting arms or something. So I've got that out because I need to do something with it. I need to rescue it, or it needs to go in the bin. So that's that one. So I'm hoping talking to you guys about it will make me actually act instead of talking. Second thing I found, and I'm not really sure about this, I had a bit of a phase, and I think we covered it in one of our videos, of making bucket hats, because I got the Nani Iro. I sound like I'm a bit obsessed with Nani Iro, don't I? I've got the Nani Iro sewing book, and it has loads of patterns on them. A lot of them are sort of oversized dresses, but they had these bucket hats that were a bit of a quirky angle, and I just got a bit obsessed and made loads of them. And I bought a load of sort of furnishing fabric to make some of those hats with, and some of it worked out really well and others not so much. So I made a couple for my mum for when she's gardening. This was one of the fabrics that I bought, and I think the pattern is a bit too heavy, so it's a canvassy type feel, but I think the pattern's too heavy for a hat. It's too big, so I'm trying to think of what to make with it. I'm sort of thinking cushions, but I'm also wondering whether I could make sort of outdoor cushions with it. The type that, you know, if you're sitting on a sunbed and you've got your sort of like laying down cushion, but sometimes you need another cushion, or for the outside seating set. So I think I might have a go at making some cushions out of this, and just probably doing piping around the outside, but probably using the same fabric, or if I can find this sort of fuchsia colour, maybe picking out that pinkish colour on there. So that should be a nice, quick, easy make, and definitely the type of thing that will get me back into sewing. There are strands hanging off that where it's been in the wash. The next thing I was going to show is this. So Jane gave me this, and I think there's about, I reckon it's about 1 metre, but it's quite wide. I think it's probably about 150 wide, maybe about, yeah, probably about 1 metre and 150 wide. So there's a lot of fabric there. It's not something that I would choose to buy, but I actually think it would look nice made up in a top. I'm not sure what fabric it's soft. I don't know if it's cotton, or I'm not really sure what it is, but it's soft and drapey. So again, I mean, it would make a perfect sort of scarf. It's quite a nice fabric for a scarf. But again, I need to make it or get rid. Maybe I'll give it back to Jane, see if she remembers. So yeah, I got that out. And lastly, I love this fabric, and I was looking at this morning. So this is Sophie Allport Lobsters, and I actually have, out of this same fabric, I have a oven gloves that I actually bought from Sophie Allport. When I saw that you could buy the fabric, I just had to have it. Now, it sort of lends itself to tea towels, yeah, oven gloves, pot handlers, aprons, but I sort of think it's too good for that. And I think it would look really good as is a beach bag. So Lobsters, perfect for the beach. And I don't know if you can see the actual lobster there, the colour of it. It's a really lovely sort of dark blue, and the tips and the tail are a different type of blue. So just love that. They do a crab version as well, which is very nice. So I want to try and make some sort of beach bag that I can use for the beach that I'm not going to be able to travel to. But I want to make something a bit different. So I don't know. I think I'm going to be on the hunt for some, you know, a nice pattern, and I think it would look really good with some chunky sort of chrome fastenings on it. So maybe sort of a square bottomed one, or maybe sort of like a big slouchy one with a big handle would look good. So that's my fabric this week, and as I say, this is really with a view to not only share my fabric with you guys, but also with a view to getting me going again. And something else that I was going to show was a coat that I made some time ago, but I haven't really had the chance to wear it. So I'm going to, I don't know if you can see it behind me, what I will do is I will take the camera over in there in a moment and I'll show you it. But it was, for me, it was a big project. The fabric for the coat came from, I think, from Miss Anne in, oh gosh, I should remember the name of it, the famous road, the famous road with all the shops in it, Goldhawk Road, that's the one. So the fabric came from there, and it was quite expensive, and I think I worked out by the time I'd bought the fabric and the lining, and I also interfaced it with some quite good facing fabric, I think it probably cost me at least £90, maybe more. So it's quite expensive, and I think this is sometimes a toss-up between things, isn't it? Because you could probably buy a decent coat for £90 by the time you add on the time it took you to make it. But there's no sort of fun in that, is there? It's the reward of the challenge of a new pattern and making it yourself. So what I will do is I will take some video of the coat, and I will also put a picture up of the pattern, because I should have got that out before this video. So I'll put a picture at the end as well as to who the pattern is by. I think it's the oh, it's my brain today. I think it's the Merchant and Mills, I think. So you'll see. Anyway, short and sweet, and hopefully next time I'll be back with some things that I've actually made. Thank you for watching.